Hi, welcome to Someone Else's Movie, the original podcast where an actor, writer, director, or nebulous industry figure gives a little love to a movie they didn't make. I'm Norm Wilner, I'm a critic, consultant, and programmer based in Toronto, and this is the other thing I do. My guest this week is Courtney Summers, an author who specializes in thrillers featuring young adult protagonists. Her books include I'm the Girl, The Project, Sadie, and This Is Not a Test, about a handful of teenagers hiding from a zombie apocalypse in their high school where the old rules no longer apply. It's been adapted into a major motion picture starring Olivia Holt by friend of the podcast Adam McDonald, and it's now available on digital and on demand in Canada and streaming on Shudder in the US. It's a very clever, very bloody spin on The Breakfast Club, and you should check it out. Courtney picked The Wolf of Snow Hollow, the 2020 horror comedy written and directed by Jim Cummings, another friend of the show, who stars as John Marshall, a deputy sheriff in a small mountain town dealing with an aging father, played by Robert Forster, and a resentful partner, played by Ricky Lindholm, while trying to solve a spate of violent murders without acknowledging that the carnage sure looks like the work of a werewolf. If you've seen Thunder Road or The Beta Test, you know Cummings specializes in playing overmatched men in extreme situations, and The Wolf of Snow Hollow is about as extreme as you can get. I would only offer this warning: don't listen to this episode until you've seen the film, because there's no way to talk about it without talking about all of it. This is Someone Else's Movie.
Well, I feel really late to Jim Cummings' filmography, but I also feel like certain stories arrive in your life at the point you need them most. And his movies are like the breakdown I wish I could have all the time. It's so cathartic to watch his characters lose their minds. So I picked Wolf of Snow Hollow for 31 horror movies, 31 days. And I was getting toward the end of the challenge and I'm like, I need something with a quick runtime. I can't be spending 2 hours a night on a horror movie. And it was that. And I put it on, and when the credits rolled, I just got like that shivery electric feeling that I was like, this is so good. It was like ambitious. It was smart. It was emotional to me. And I knew instantly it was like going to go on my top 10 movies of all time. And it has. And he references so much of my other favorite movies, like Zodiac. There's so much Zodiac in this, and his inspirations are a lot of what interests me on screen. So it makes sense that I connected to it. But I just, and I hate werewolves. Like, I'm not big on werewolves. So he impressed me there. Like, they're bottom tier for me when it comes to horror movies. Like, who cares about werewolves? He made me care about a werewolf. So congratulations, Jim. You impressed Courtney Summers. I'm sure he's thrilled. I'm sure that's all he was aiming for.
Honestly, I bet he would love to hear it. It's such a specific niche that he works in. As you say, like men who are not coping.
No, they're not at all. And the breakdown monologues, they're so good.
Yeah. Have you seen Disc, the short film?
No.
I just had the director, Blake Winston Rice. Jim stars in that. And he plays an advertising or marketing guy who's just had a one-night stand, and then the woman he has slept with in the morning can't dislodge her basically diaphragm. She calls it a disc. But it's all about like this panicked masculinity of he wants to do the right thing. He wants to be a good person, but he's terrified. And I don't think there's another actor who shows that kind of fear in his eyes the way Cummings does.
It's so visceral. He is so, his performance are so, they're like out of control, but so deeply controlled and so physical. It's like he's some like extension of Jim Carrey or something. Jim Carrey, but like with a real, I don't know. Jim Carrey has a dark edge, but there's just some kind of synergy there that just immediately reminds you of Jim Carrey.
He's gangly and he's not afraid to make faces, but Carrey wants to be loved, and I don't think Cummings cares.
True. That might be the difference. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah,
that's
and
compelling.
He's in stuff like The Beta Test and
that
and in this, right? Like
parking garage. I just have to say that parking garage sequence where he's just like vocalizing noises, and I want to be young again. I'm like, I don't know what it's like to be a Hollywood agent who's like answered this purple envelope and have destroyed my life with anonymous sex, but like I feel that monologue so much. I want to be young again. I hate the internet. It's like, yeah, same.
Yeah, it's I think unless I'm missing something really obvious, because even Thunder Road, he's playing sort of a secondary trooper. He doesn't have a lot of authority. This is the film where he is presumably the most in command, on paper. Yeah. He's taking care of his dad. He's taking care of his town. He's comfortable he's situated in everything is where it should be. And the instant, the second something flickers across his field of vision that he doesn't understand or isn't prepared for, he falls apart. And again, it's delightful. It shouldn't be as much fun to watch someone collapse as it is.
It is. It's I love it. I love how he's just occupying these men who are failing so spectacularly at every role they occupy in their life. Like they're performing on a certain level that, superficially seems like it's coming together, but they don't actually know how to be a person in the world. Like as soon as they fail to win at the objective of this role, it just goes to pieces. And I love that. It's just I don't know, I sound sadistic or something. I'm like watching like every one of his movies is a guy on the worst day of his life, and I'm like, give me more of that, please.
Yeah, it's terrible to know going into one of these movies like, oh, I hope he fails.
Yeah, well, but you know what? It's his fault. The writing's so good.
It's true. But his ability to be a punching bag, an emotional punching bag, and still craft like he's not a showy filmmaker. There are moments in The Wolf of Snow Hollow that are really eerie and beautiful, especially on second viewing when you really understand what the mechanisms are and what's going on. But the sense that he doesn't need to be the most important person in the story, that he cedes ground as a performer. Supposedly the reason Robert Forster took the film was because he just wanted to make a father-son story. He was already in poor health.
Right. And he was so good in that.
He's so good. Yeah, there's an actor who has never gotten his due, really.
Oh man, I know, it hurts my heart. Oh yeah, but that was, what a way to go out with that movie. That was just their relationship was so. There's this part in it where when he finally admits that I have to go to the hospital, and Jim Cummings' character is like, I can't do it. It was just, I felt it. You could just, it was good. It was just like a twist of the knife, and it was so supported by Robert Forster's whole resistance to the idea of being fallible. And you could see the mirror in Jim. It was just, I loved it so much, and I cried. I did cry.
So I'm guessing you, like me, saw this at home, right? But didn't really get a theatrical release in Canada.
No.
Did you watch it on your own, or
I was watching it on my own, and then I made my mom watch it with me, and then I watched it. I can't stop talking about this movie. I'm just like, it was like just last October, and I'm just still there. I don't want to leave. I don't know. It just hits every note it needed to for me. I love it. I didn't want to watch his other movies because I'm like, what if they're not this? What if I don't have that feeling? I'm like let down. Like I want to preserve this. I want to keep this in a bubble of perfect storytelling, to what I think is perfect storytelling. And thank God, like Thunder Road, so good. I love the beta test. This man can't lose with me. Well, I hope. No pressure.
He's doing fine. I will show up for anything he does. He is such a, and the other thing too, which I don't want to miss out on, is that his trajectory as both a producer and an actor is fascinating, because he started out doing, college humor stuff. He was not supposed to be a genre guy or a storyteller or anything other than goofy. And he's so good at goofy, but he refuses, right? Like he absolutely will not stop at the one thing. And he hasn't directed anything since the beta test, which is weird, but
did you see that he's going to be in Yeti? I was like, am I going to watch Yeti for Jim Cummings? I don't know what he's going to be doing in Yeti. He's just acting in it.
I hadn't heard.
And it's an abominable snow monster story. And I'm like, where's that going to go? I think I've got to see it.
Okay, totally sure, I'm in.
Why not?
He's also in a film called Redux. That's just...
I feel like I've heard good things about that.
Yeah, it's about, it's not quite a time loop revenge story, but it sort of kind of is. And I have no idea what no idea what his role is, but it's not the hero. That's all I know.
Ooh. Has it ever been, though? Like, technically?
He plays a lot of guys who think they're the hero.
Yeah, I love that. I love how misaligned to the moment that they frequently are. They're not bad people, but they're so deeply flawed in a way that is so compelling.
Yeah, he wants to be the hero, I think, as an actor. I mean, in Thunder Road, it's his mother's death that triggers the collapse. Here it's awaiting his father's death, which is such a
Yeah.
different note to play and such a like a weird tragic underscore to everything that is doing. Like, everything he's doing is fumbly and desperate, and it's like, how often really, this is the thing that struck me watching it again. It's like, how often do you see a movie about any kind of professional where the family life bleeds in this way? Because that's how we live.
Yeah.
Like, that's how real people live. When my father died suddenly, you take the week, you do everything you're supposed to do, and then you come back to work, and all of a sudden, oh well, I'm sure glad I saw After Sun and the Banshees of Inisherin last month.
I could like that was like, wow, what timing, like it just that's life is lifing at those moments,
Yeah,
right? Like,
you're steeped in who you are. What the world is doing is almost irrelevant, but you still have to do your job. And
yep.
most movies just sort of, I think about something like Heat, where the whole point of it is that Pacino's character cannot maintain a relationship no matter how hard he tries,
Right.
because he always goes back to the job. But you never see the conflict. It's just he gets home and Diane Venora yells at him. That's really all it is.
Yeah.
Because it's so far gone by that point. But what Cummings is doing here is just showing you, like, this guy he's not making mistakes exactly, but he is not doing well. Everyone
Right.
can see it, right? Like, this has been coming for a long time, and his mind isn't on his job. Like, his
Right.
eyes off the ball. And so he can entertain the idea that, yes, a werewolf might be, even though he doesn't believe in it, maybe, who knows? I don't know. Like, he has just enough self-knowledge to know he's not on his game. So
Yeah.
maybe you can't rule out werewolves.
You can't rule out werewolves. And also, I loved how there would be moments within the whole movie where he'd be like, I've got to call Jenna, his daughter. And they'd be like, why are you talking about Jenna? And he's like, was I talking about Jenna? And then when she gets attacked by the werewolf, he has a moment to he can rise to that occasion as a father, and he just blows it so spectacularly. And I like that the main reason he cites is he's like, now your mom's going to think I'm a worse screw up than I already am. It's not like that's the whole reason that he's mad at her. And it just speaks to all the tensions that he's holding and trying to and failing to live up to within these, I don't know, patriarchal roles, male defined.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so good. I love it so much.
Yeah, it's a movie about someone's expectations for himself, a community's expectations for itself, the reveal. And I guess it's a 5-year-old film. I suppose we can talk about the plot a little bit, but people who have not seen this movie should stop this episode, see the movie, and then catch up to it.
Yes. But
the idea that the threat is maybe the most bizarre internal threat to a community, because it's ridiculous on its face, but it makes sense in the film. Like, he takes the time as a director and writer to set things up in a way that is compelling, convincing, deeply unpleasant. Like, it's just the motivation for the murders and the nature of the killer. The more we learn about it and the mutilations that are being performed, like, it's really genuinely horrific.
Were you shocked when he ended up killing the mother and the child? Because when I showed that to my mom, she was like, wait, and you see the kid's picture in the coffin. I was like, oh, he did that. And that whole scene in the diner was that was the Zodiac car sequence, wasn't it? Like, that was what it was mirroring. And she got out and the baby got out, but he was like, no, these two aren't getting out. It was like, oh my God. I thought that was ballsy.
Yeah, I mean, it's cruel in a human way, and the way he shoots it makes sure it doesn't feel sadistic.
Yeah.
But, compared to, I just saw Scream 7, and there's a disemboweling in it because that's what the kids want these days. And
that's
it's so it's so weird to see this mainstream franchise. Like, these things have been around as long as the Mission Impossible movies now, the Scream films. It's 30 years. And they just introduce fodder. It's not like you're doing what the first two movies did in creating characters who are rich enough to want to survive. It's like, oh, I hope this one gets it, or this one's the killer.
I hate that so much.
Yeah, it's a looking glass thing. They've come all the way around to the idea that certain characters are indestructible, certain characters are necessary, and this is what the audience wants. But I don't know that that's true anymore. And I mean, it was the same in Scream 4 and Scream 5 and Scream, like they're all the same movie, which is exhausting. And the thing I will say for The Wolf of Snow Hollow is structurally, even as a whodunit, which isn't a whodunit for the first hour and a half because everyone
Yeah.
thinks there's a monster on the loose, it's original and novel and tonally nimble in a way that I don't think
Yes.
anything else has been in a while.
I like yes, yes. I love that you said all that because I really, really enjoy storytelling that knows who it's for and that knows its audience. And I don't think that's a small thing. I think in the attention economy, creatives like more than ever are being pressured to tick certain boxes and try to appeal to everyone for the highest possible return. And when you do that, when you start making those compromises or pandering, you're gonna miss your targets completely. And when you know who your audience is for, you know who your audience is like not. Like you have to be brave enough to commit to not making something that's not for everyone. Like you have to be able to say this is not for you. And I wish more people understood that just because you didn't like a movie doesn't mean it's bad. It means it wasn't for you. Like that's not the end of the world. Like try to meet it on its terms and see what you get out of it. Like, it's actual work you have to do with narrative. You have to give to it as much as it's giving to you to really like you have to meet it there. And so many people don't want to do that. And I just love that I feel like Snow Hollow makes that demand. I feel like Thunder Road made that demand. I feel like the beta test makes that demand. And I don't want to feel like a wallet when I go to a movie. Like you're just trying to get money out of me. I want to feel like I got invited to someone doing something interesting, even if they don't succeed at it. But like I want to be able to measure that on its terms, not like, like I just it feels rarer and rarer these days. I don't know. I feel like the old man yells at cloud, that Simpsons meme, but I really do feel that. And yeah, I mean, This Is Not a Test is similar in the way that it kind of flouts certain zombie conventions and the idea of horror as like a way to be a spectacle. It's really not. It's like a movie about teens under siege in high school. And I just think that's interesting. It's not what you would expect going into a zombie movie in the horror category, but it commits to itself. And I just think that's the coolest thing you can do as a storyteller. And people act like you're hurting them. I'm like, come on, this is cool. Like treat it like it's cool. It is a cool thing, whether or not you like it. It's just cool.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, give me a situation I haven't seen before and handle it with some level of intelligence and character, and I'm in because
Yeah,
that's what I want. With This Is Not a Test, at least the film version, it's you have to avoid the Breakfast Club of it all, but you also
yeah,
have to acknowledge it, right? Like
yep.
there is a whole genre of teenagers arguing, right?
Yeah,
But then you pivot in one direction and you have the idea of the school shooting genre, which there have been some good movies made about it, there have been some terrible movies made about it, and then there's the zombie genre, which is now just a mode of addressing something else. Adam
right.
Naiman, a critic and writer in Toronto, said that 15 or 20 years ago, when the resurgence was sort of at its peak, he said he was really hoping somebody would take, like Ken Loach would take a movie about social injustice to Cannes and just say, actually, it's about zombies. Because you could now, because it can be anything, it can be applied to anything, but as an outside pressure, and especially with the acknowledgement, and I think it's text in This Is Not a Test, teenagers always feel like the world is ending. Everything is
That's true.
super hyper. Like I remember what that felt like. Everything is the most important thing. Every feeling you're felt is the first time anyone's felt this feeling. So they're going to relate to an apocalypse, especially when it turns their loved ones against them in a very
Right.
like primal, almost ludicrously overblown way. And so watching people in a life or death struggle with their own emotions, like with their own response, that's really interesting to me.
I think so too. Like, I mean, like, does the human drama ever get old? Like, we're people on the planet. We want to connect to something. We want to see ourselves sort of reflected back, or at least get what is the mirror holding up, and what am I actually seeing? I don't know. It's to me, zombies are a great metaphor for life and death and the whole thing. And there's anti-consumerism and all that. This Is Not a Test. What I find really interesting is it is so focused on the female perspective, a teenage girl's perspective, and I write young adult fiction, and I've had like a front row seat to how much people hate books and media for and about teenagers, let alone for and about teenage girls. And there's something very Adam McDonald, who directed the film, he just commits to that. He doesn't make he doesn't use that lens as at the expense of the trauma that he's trying to convey to the viewer. And I just think there's something really, it's just very viscerally felt. It's very quiet, and it's deeply emotional. And I don't think people go into a zombie movie expecting that. And I think when you get that, I think that's like when you say, oh, that's cool, not, what isn't it? What is it? What is it to you?
The only thing I was going to add was the resonance of having Luke McFarlane as.
Oh, he's so good in this.
Yeah, but as a Cummings-like character, right? Like, he doesn't understand how to talk to people, even though he's a teacher. Now that the rules have changed and he doesn't have power, he's this desperate, whiny child.
He comes in and he's just like, it's not in a performance you'd expect from him. Like, it's like you if you live long enough, you get to see Luke McFarlane be this guy, and This Is Not a Test, from right out of the Hallmark movies. It's insane what he does with like the limited screen time he has. He gets on there, he's digging into a can of peaches like it's human flesh, and he's just losing his mind gradually in front of these students. And I love what the example it is of like the power dynamic shifting at the end of the world. And it's I mean this in the most complimentary way possible. And it's Jim Cummings adjacent. It's a mortifying performance. Like, I was so embarrassed. I'm like, this man is begging for his life from a bunch of screw up teenagers. This is like fundamentally wrong, but so intensely interesting. And he just works it so well. He's like trembling and running and shaking, and just, he knows he's screwed because he's got to answer to teenagers. Like, that is so much fun to watch. I still can't believe that's him. I just look at it, I'm like, really? Are we sure that's Luke? Are we sure it's not like someone pretending to be Luke on the worst day of his life? I'm not sure.
Hey, it's Norm, interrupting my own show to bring you up to speed on Shiny Things, my newsletter about physical media, culture, and the odd streaming project. Last week I wrote about the new discs of Twinless, How to Make a Killing, and If I Had Legs I'd Kick You. And of course, there was Friday's What's Worth Watching dispatch for paid subscribers. Sign up for a 14-day free trial at shiny-things.ghost.io, or find a link at the Semcast Blue Sky account. You like reading about movies? I like writing about them. Come check it out. It's funny, you cite the Hallmark movies. I mostly know him from Killjoys and Bros and Platonic lately, where he plays somebody who is consistently like, just he's I mean, obviously, objectively, I've met him. He's an incredibly good-looking man, and in terrific shape, but also on the inside, there's a gyroscope that's just about 20% miscalibrated, and every now and then something comes out, and it's
perfect, like, way to put it. Yes.
Yeah, he knows how to be conventional, but he's absolutely not interested in it as an actor. So yeah, the Hallmark movies, I'm always surprised he's in them, because yes, of course, he's good at them, but it always feels subversive when I think about it.
Yeah, I can see that. He nailed it. It was just a really unexpected casting choice of when they were telling me who they had in mind for this part, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And Sybil, the producer, and Adam, they were like, he can do this. He's going to do this. And he nailed it. Like, I'm so impressed with that.
Yeah. Jim Cummings energy.
Yes. That's like, we should all have a little bit of it. I don't think anyone should be able to anticipate our next moves. We've just really got to live by that. Like, just keep people on their toes and terrified. And this is kind of like adjacent to everything, like a few points back, but I love the way he portrays women and girls. Jim Cummings, like, they're never unlikable for the sake of it. They're not there to prop him up, and it's never at the expense of themselves. Like, they're clearly responding and reacting to his character's unlikability. Like, he sucks all the air out of the room, and you just get the sense that every woman he encounters in his movie is just trying to get to the other side of being around him. So you kind of don't fault them for the way that they react or interact with him. Like, I never look at them and like, you're the reason this guy is how he is. It's like, oh, he's the reason you're being like this now. And I love that. I love that so much. It is so easy to make like a gag out of, especially when you're bringing in divorce and parenthood. It is so easy to villainize the female characters in that capacity. And I was like, oh, this is good. He's giving, they're not innocent, but they're kind of victims of this man's personality in a way that it felt fresh to me and not tired.
Oh yeah, no, Ricky Lindholm immediately
Yes.
like shows us that it's never in the dialogue, it's never spoken, but she's pretty sure he got his deputy position because he's the sheriff's kid. And
Yes.
her resentment at him and the way that she's constantly tamping it down to be professional.
Yes, she's suffering so much.
It's such a great running gag. And she knows exactly how to play. And she's got the perfect face for like her cheekbones judge him at one point.
Yeah, oh, yes, that is like the perfect way to describe it. And oh yes, when what did she say? Oh, oh yeah, when he's like, do you think people have been treating women this badly since the Dark Ages? And it's like, oh, you could see it all there on her. She's like, gonna kill you. Like it was so good. Oh, I just love that he's willing to take on roles and create roles and write roles that are not afraid to get ugly. Like he's not, yeah, they're really not vessels for him to prove that he's the star and that he's upholding the whole thing. It really, like, it's just good. It's good character work. All of his characters, he's got these through lines. He's got the monologues where someone's gonna like in Thunder Road, like that's the catalyst, the funeral speech. Oh my God. And then in Wolf of Snow Hollow, he opens with his little, the AA meeting, and you get a sense of what's going on. And it feels so supported. Like it's exposition, but it doesn't feel sloppy. It feels like it's serving it's just so deeply interwoven into what is happening around it. You're not like, oh, and this is the, as you know, Bob part of the movie. It's interacting with its environment and its other characters so well. I just love everything he does. It's an illness I have at this point. I'm just like, oh, it's so cool.
And I was wrong. He has directed something else. He and PJ McCabe have made a 5-episode limited series that premiered at Sundance that I missed completely.
It hasn't been picked up yet. That's why.
It's called The Screener.
Yeah.
And all I know about it is that it's something to do with a leaked screener of a film. And that, again, that sounds perfect for him.
Like right? Like, of course. Every time you see what he does, it's like, of course that's what he's doing. And I want to see it so bad. And there's no way to see it.
And how weird is it that you make a 5-episode limited series and you're not making it for a television channel? You're just doing it because you want to tell the story.
Love of the game. That you can that's the other thing that like permeates each of his movies, I think, is just a total love of filmmaking. I don't know, when you can feel that, like that energy crackling throughout, it just feel like, again, you're not being, the end game is not to get your money to watch the movie. It's just to like have a shared experience. I don't know. I just feel like there's a real authenticity and sincerity in his work that like respects its audience, whether or not you walk away feeling like I did, like this is the best thing I've seen in like the last year. It's nice to feel like my time was respected and that I was, wanted, like, yeah, I just love what he's doing and how he's doing it.
I said it when I reviewed it at the time, like Bong Joon-ho would be proud of what it does.
Yes.
The inexplicable, unquantifiable fluidity, for lack of a better term, right? It goes wherever it needs to, not wherever we want it to.
Yes. Did you see he did like a YouTube interview where he got like an intensive note about the likability of John's character? Because when they're in the car and she's like, if you want to be sheriff, start acting like one. The whole scene unfolded in that she touches his hand like in a show of support, and he's like, get your hand off my hand. And everyone was like, that is so unlikable. You can't do that. And he had to change it, which had like this cascade effect on everything else somehow. And it was just interesting hearing him. Like he said something like, what did he say? Likability is like a virus that is infected screenwriting or something at this point. So then he had to go through this whole process of reshaping the final third of the movie on everyone else's terms, but in a way that was like on his own. So just, he's like, they wanted like him to save Julia from the werewolf at the end, which yuck. Like I would be so mad if I got to the end of the movie and that's what it got. And he said he was having a nervous breakdown because he's like, I have to wear this movie. I am this movie. I'm the guy at the center of this movie. And he was talking about how to negotiate like by committee decisions by not answering what they're asking you to do, but finding something better so that they can't argue with you anymore. I would have never guessed that he had gone through this whole like off-screen nervous breakdown about this whole sequence because it all comes together so beautifully. Did you guess who the killer was?
No idea. Never.
I flew right over my head. I had to watch YouTube videos explaining it to me. I'm embarrassed to say.
Oh no! But, I mean, it's in there, and of course, the nature of the character. Again, like the film leads you there as soon as you find the Seam Ripper and understand what it's for. It's just like, oh, that guy. It's going to be that guy. But it's the okay. People who have not seen this movie, press stop now.
Yes.
The suit is so convincing, and because the movie has the advantage of cinematography, it's lit gorgeously. It's probably not nearly as convincing to the characters as it is to the audience, right? Like the whole point of that film is bringing us along with John as he slowly starts to doubt his certainty that there's no such thing as a werewolf.
Right.
And the two times we see it, and it's all backstory, right? Like the guy has thought about this for a very long time. He's built the suit. He knows how to move in it. He is being a werewolf. And the authenticity of that performance in the character, inside the suit, comes through to the camera in a way that tricks us. Yeah. And the violence is such, like it's the same with Jack the Ripper stories, right? You can't believe a person could be this depraved, which of course is the whole point. It's hatred coming out. It's rage. It's all the things this person has kept away from the public to fool them into thinking he's a normal, nice person.
Right.
And then the absolute conviction that comes with understanding that it's a person in a suit snaps the movie into a different mode, and also somehow makes John even more of an underdog because this guy's really tall and really violent.
Stand up to your full height. Like that is one for the books. That was so scary. It was just watching him, and he just keeps going. And like that. That gave me chills. That was like I think I rewound that like 18 times, and each time I was still like, that's still scary. That is not losing its impact. And he was just, and he looked so defeated in that moment. He was like, oh, like damn.
Yeah, it's and again. It's so risky. It shouldn't be like it by the time we're there, it shouldn't feel as risky as it does. But that's, I think, because we're identifying with John, we're identifying with Cummings and this completely overmatched person who, he has a gun, but this guy isn't going to stop. Like he just doesn't stop. And that's where Cummings' ability to play, like, I don't even know, what did I call it? I pulled up my old review from the now streaming newsletter, which is long dead. But what was it? Overmatched men in extreme situations.
That should be the tagline of his entire.
Yeah, but this is like the perfect expression of it, because not only is it something he can't comprehend if it's a werewolf, once it turns out that it's a person, it's actually more frightening to him because he doesn't understand it.
Yeah, it's just like what you were saying. You can see as soon as he is like, he performs very highly at the jobs that he has, but as soon as there's like one minor wrinkle, he's like, I love when he like, Paul goes running off and then he goes running the other way and he tries to get back up. And he's like, and then he jumps through the window. Like he's like, this is not going to go well for him. And that moment, that whole confrontation, like I'm like, this is a Christmas movie too. Like, like, what more can this movie give me? I've got like the horror, comedy, true crime, or not true crime, crime thriller, whatever, slice of life, family drama, and I got a Christmas movie. Like every December, I'm gonna be right in front of this movie and being like, this is it, man. It's the season. It was so. I just love it so much. I don't know. It got me. I love, and the score is really good. The score is I mean, like, of course, the score is going to like support the mood and the vibe and the movement of the scenes, but I think it does it in a really, just a really interesting and well done way. And the montages, like the sequences, can we talk about those?
Sure.
They're doing such heavy lifting. Like that one extended take where they was it the second body that they found, and the guy, he's just losing his mind on the job, and then the one guy's like, they're saying it's a werewolf, and the news van is
Oh, the
right
scrum. Yeah,
there,
yeah.
and it just keeps going, and then they're interweaving the funeral scenes and things like that. It's it doesn't feel like a shortcut. It actually feels like, you're taking more in about the characters and everything. It just doesn't feel like a way to get through like a lot of emotional work and saving runtime just to get to the next point. It just feels like essential. It's just he's tight. Like I can't believe his run times are as short as they are, because he packs so much into them, like an immense amount, and it all works. It all. I'm sorry, it's a perfect film. If I know we're not going to fight about it now, like that was my one concern. But if
I don't do
anyone
that.
wants to fight me, I will fight them about this. I just think he did it, man. He did what he set out to do, and he hit. Like I can't think of a thing where I was like, you didn't have to do that. Every beat just satisfies me on a like visceral level. Like I don't
I
know.
get that. I get that. It's comfort, and it's like it's comfort food, but it's also really like it's rich, it's unpleasant, it's mean, it's funny, it is all the things you want from anything uh that you sit down and give yourself over to. But yeah, it's just I was just so excited that there was a new Jim Cummings movie when it happened. And then it was like, oh, he's so good at this. This is great. I can't wait for more. And yeah, to be walloped by it the way you were is even better. So tell me why you don't, what's the deal with werewolves? Why are you resistant?
This is embarrassing. I was a Twilight girly. You
Ooh.
had Team Edward, you had Team Jacob, and there was no way I was siding with the werewolf. I was all sparkly vampires. And the thing is, if you were in Twilight, that was your whole personality. I can't like emphasize that enough. So it's not just like that you're not Team Jacob and werewolves. It's like you are like on you're in a perennial fight of vampires versus werewolves, and it makes no sense because I actually really like an American Werewolf in Paris and Ginger Snaps. Like I love those movies. What Stephanie Meyer did to my brain chemistry, I've just never been able to recover from. So when I saw the werewolf, I'm like, whatever, like I'll get, like this could be good, and I love it. I love what Jim Cummings did. So I guess he undid like the cult programming of Stephanie Meyer. That's another thing he's amazing. Wow, what can't this man do?
He's that good.
He's that good.
It's
And it's like an on the nose metaphor. Like, but then what am I saying? Zombies are kind of on the nose too. But I'm just like, rage, werewolves. I do like that the alcoholism ties into this too. Yeah. That
yeah.
was really well done. Did you think? Like that whole
Sure, it's subtle, but it's always there. Like there are
yeah.
ways to oversell it that he simply avoids because it's just an element
Yeah.
of the story rather than the whole point of the story.
It's unadorned. It's like very yeah, it feels the most wild stuff is happening in all of his movies, but it all feels like the fight with the medical examiner when they get in the slap fight and he's like being physically dragged away. I'm like, this is hysterical, but it also feels like a natural extension of everything that's occurring. Like I could see myself reaching that point. Like it's so comedic and so ridiculous, but I'm like, but is it out of the question for anyone on this kind of pressure cooker? Like it, I don't know. I'm just, this is going to be like how many minutes of me saying, I love Jim Cummings. I think he's perfect. He made the best movie, Fight Me. Like, that's basically it.
It's fine. You can throw down any challenge you want to. The werewolf thing to me is something that I find fascinating because I agree with you. It is a very simple metaphor and it's not always fungible in the way that creators, writers, and directors seem to think it could be. I don't know if you saw the Lee Winnell Wolfman a couple of years ago, but
I have resisted that so far.
It's fascinating to see how his insistence that he's going to throw out everything, the nature of the curse, the concept of like moonrise and sunrise, all of it just it takes place over one night. It tells you that the transformation is permanent and irrevocable. And we are shown graphically that the virus, whatever, like the contagion, whatever it is that makes a man a wolf man, is overriding the victim's personality. So it's not even the Jekyll Hyde thing of the wolf unleashing the worst aspects of the person.
That's interesting.
It shows you through its attempt to broaden the scope of the concept how limited it really is.
I hate when a movie is like lost in its own cleverness, like it thinks it's just being so smart and so funny and so self-referential, and it's just like, stop, it's not cute. There's like a point where I'm just like maxed out on it. Jim Cummings, I think his movies, like his dialogue, I think it's genuinely clever without like appearing like it's trying. It's just so assured. It knows what it is. It's not trying to pander. It's not trying to be like, look at how smart I am. It just knows that it is and is not trying to prove itself. It's like inviting you into the experience. I love that. I just think they're like, it's so easy for me to like, I loved Scream. I loved all that self-referential stuff. I thought that was smart and cool at the time. And then it gets to a point where it's like, yes, you all know your horror movies. I get it. Like, please do something else with that slotted 5 pages or whatever. But yeah, I think Jim Cummings is like genuinely clever and funny. And it's because he respects the audience. Like, he's not trying to point at himself. He's trying to tell a story.
Yeah, he's the best avatar for the story he's trying to tell, I think. Right?
Yeah.
Because he's so concerned with masculinity and strength and confidence and all those things, that because he looks like he looks, right? Like he should be a leading man. He's used really well in a movie called The Last Stop in Yuma County, which came out a couple of years ago.
I have not seen that.
It's just shown up on the various streaming services, and you shouldn't have any trouble finding it now. He's the producer and the star, but he didn't write it or direct it. But he knows, like, he's basically playing Bruce Campbell, if that makes sense, in this one.
Okay, I'm sold.
Yeah,
I love Bruce Campbell.
Like, he knows he technically represents leading man's energy, but he just won't do it. Like McFarlane, right? Like, he's just not interested in that line of work.
Absolutely resistant. Yes, that's that's it, isn't it? That just clicked something. I'm like, yeah, that's it. That's what he's doing or not doing. Yeah, smart.
Yeah.
He carries it well. He does it so well. What else? I had a bunch of notes. I'm like, I got to make sure everyone knows how good this movie is. When am I going to get to talk about? So far, everyone's like, okay, Courtney, we get you. Like, the movie, it's over. Like, stop.
No. This is what the show is about. It's an advocacy podcast, and it always has been. I'm so glad you picked it.
I love this conversation. Sorry, it's so great.
Oh, thank you. But before we wrap, I do want to ask, I mean, is there, as a YA novelist, I don't know how you can address the themes of the film in the same way, but is there anything of The Wolf of Snow Hollow that you have used as inspiration or found a way to, like, would you inject a character like that into your work just as a mirror for the audience?
Like, my career in YA, like, so far, I've been really well known for writing unlikable female protagonists, and that's kind of like my bread and butter, is just bringing a really raw human experience on the page in a way that girls are not typically afforded, especially in fiction for teens and about them. So I think that's why I gravitate to The Wolf of Snow Hollow, and it hasn't inspired anything directly because it's such a new entry into my life, but I love a lack of compromise. I don't think if you're putting this much time and effort into telling a story, there is a point where you have to just fully commit to what you believe in. Like, it's not a point to start scaling back or trying to please everyone. This is where you like put everything on the page. You put it all there. You leave it all there. You give everything you've got to that. You don't start thinking about who's this going to upset, who is this going to please. Just give everything you've got to the story you're trying to tell, no matter what. I just really love when I can get that sense from a story that nobody has held back, nobody has compromised in a way that has removed something integral from the experience, but given more to it. It's just like when he was talking about having to juggle all the input that he was getting from the studio, and how he was like, it's my job to like overcome this in a way that they don't worry about what they thought it should be, that that my instinct was right. Even if I have to change it a little, it's still on my terms. It's like, you should always be operating from a place that is your own terms. Like, there will be points where you have to hear feedback and, act accordingly, but it should always be with the preservation of the story in mind. And that's the kind of thing that I commit to when I write young adult fiction for and about girls. And This Is Not a Test is one of like 8 examples of that now. And I do think it was really preserved in the way that Adam hyper focused on the trauma of the female character. I don't think you get that a lot, honestly. Like there are points in the movie where in the movie, she's like, she's dealing with an abusive father. She wants to commit suicide on the day the zombie apocalypse happens. And he never makes that a spectacle. He never makes a joke of it. And he sort of, there are these shots where she's just like looking right at the camera, and you have to work with that. And I just think that's so confronting and exciting, because I don't think in teen media you get that a lot. And I can't wait for a bunch of like 16-year-old girls to find it on streaming and be like, oh my God, I just think that there is so much there to unpack that is not typical of the genre or of teen media. Like, I just think it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it treats the audience like they're adults. It expects they can handle what it throws at them. And when you mention those scenes, I just like, it's Olivia Holt just sitting there in her space, right? And there's no music to tell us how to feel. And it's really just her.
It's so stark. It's like so unadorned. And these kids, like at times they're like, I saw it at Toronto After Dark, and there's this like moment in the movie where a kid makes a really bad decision. They make a few of them in the movie. It's fine. Like, and someone behind me just went, teenagers. And I was like, yeah, exactly. Like I love the flaws there. I love the heightened emotions. Like when Luke McFarlane is running through the hall, one of these teenagers like actually yells, "Get him!" Like that. It's just so. It just feels so real. It just feels like you are. And the Christian Beltz, or I hope I said his name right, who is the director of photography. He has a background in documentary. It almost feels like you're like the third perspective, or an additional perspective in the way that they use the handheld and stuff. And I really liked it. I'm like, oh, this is what it would be like. This is like, and there's a lot of silences, and the pacing is stretched. And these are all like compliments. Like I like Pulse, Kiyoshi Kurosawa. I loved how long those scenes go, and how like the sound is like almost ASMR because it is so heightened and pronounced. I'm like, this is like the adaptation that I feel so lucky to have, because it just hits like all the things that I would want it to. And I knew Adam would take good care of it, because I loved Pyewacket, and he does a really great job expressing Leah's arc and being really respectful of her space and her emotions as a teenage girl, like going through a terrible grief with a complicated mother and daughter relationship. But this was even like more than I hoped. And I knew it was going to be good, but like, I'm happy. I'm not actually that easy to please. Like, I know I'm like sitting here like, this movie looks the best. I'm not. And so I was thrilled with how this turned out.
My thanks to Courtney Summers, whose novels are available at bookstores everywhere, and whose This Is Not a Test is also a major motion picture, now streaming on Shudder in the US and available on digital and on demand in Canada. Thanks also to Winnie Wong. She knows what she did. You can find Courtney on Instagram at SummersCourtney, all one word, and you can find The Wolf of Snow Hollow on Blu-ray and DVD from Warner Bros. Discovery Home Entertainment. It's also streaming on Prime Video in the US and Canada, as well as on the Roku channel in the US, and available to rent or buy on various VOD services across North America. You can find me on Blue Sky at Norm Wilner, and you can find this podcast there at Semcast, S-E-M-Cast, and on the web at someoneelsesmovie.com. The first year of the show is still available for just $20 at payhip.com/semcast. That's the first 52 episodes of Someone Else's Movie, 40 of which aren't currently available anywhere else. And check out my newsletter, Shiny Things, at shiny-things.ghost.io. I think you'll enjoy it. Our theme song is by The Last Year. If you like it, or the show in general, please say so. Leave a review wherever you've been listening. Every little bit helps, it truly does. And check out the other shows on the Frequency Podcast Network while you're doing that. Stay safe, watch movies. Don't be a werewolf. I'll see you next week.